Hey guys, welcome back. So if you guys seen my last video, you guys would know that we're going to be having Virizion in Tier 5 raids that's going to be replacing Terrakion from December 17th to January 7th. But in today's video, today's video is going to be going about Lugia and Ho-Oh, because Lugia and Ho-Oh are going to be returning for a special raid weekend from December 20th to December 23rd. So, I'm actually here on Twitter, that I'm showcasing this tweet here, feature from Kelvin, which Niantic has announced that, if you guys did not see my last video, that Lugia and Ho are going to be having their special raid weekend. And I have a comment. There's a comment here that says Aeroblast and Sacred Fire, which, if you guys don't know, those are Lugia's signature move is Aeroblast, and Ho-Oh's signature move is Sacred Fire. So, are those going to be coming into the game? That would be pretty dope. But for the most part, these are gonna be pretty cool, because I think this is just a good chance to do some fun challenges. Well, for me anyways, or me and my squad, we're gonna do some fun challenges against Lugia and Ho-Oh, which that's gonna be pretty fun. I can't wait to do a couple of cool stuff. Lugia is definitely something I've been wanting to come back for quite some time, because there's a lot of fun challenges that me and my friends want to try out for sure. With Lugia coming back, well, hopefully we'll get that opportunity for sure. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. And keep in mind, guys, Lugia and Ho-Oh do have shiny variants. So if you happen to encounter a shiny Lugia or a shiny Ho-Oh, you definitely may want to pine at those, because those are going to be there's going to be 100% catch rate on both of those. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on GoHub, and let's go ahead and discuss these two Pokemon. So I will see you guys there. Okay, so we're going to start off with Lugia here, which Lugia here maxes out at 3,703. Lugia is a dual type Psychic and Flying type with an attack of 193, defense of 310, pretty tanky, and stamina of 235. Scrolling down to the weaknesses here, Lugia is going to be weak to Dark, Electric, Ghost, Ice, and Rock. And then it's going to be heavily resisting Fighting and Ground, while also resisting Grass and Psychic. So there you go. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the moves here for Lugia. Lugia's fast moves are going to be Extra Sensory and Dragon Tail, while the charge moves are going to be Future Sight, Sky Attack, and Hydro Pump. So best moveset of Lugia's is going to be Extra Sensory and Sky Attack. So Lugia, this is a legendary that that's kind of touched my heart, because what's funny was that I was just talking with one of my friends just last night about how Lugia, like, we were just talking about how Articuno and Lugia were the very first legendary Pokemon to ever be brought into the game, and that was back in 2017 if I'm not mistaken. And it was pretty cool and ever since, Lugia has had a spot in my heart, because it was a legendary Pokemon that really made the game come in really strong for sure. And Lugia and Articuno were first introduced in Pokemon Go Fest of 2017, which was pretty sweet. So, but anyways, going back to the topic at hand here, is Lugia worth powering up? The answer is not necessarily that. You don't need a squad of Lugias, but if you want to just max one out, I say go for it, because honestly, Lugia is not going to be the strongest out of the Psychic types or Flying types in particular, but Lugia is still going to be fantastic. The reason why I think Lugia is fantastic is because a few things. Number one, Lugia is going to be great in both the Ultra League and the Master League. I believe Lugia shines better in the Master League. I believe, I could be wrong, and Lugia is actually a fairly tanky Pokemon, and it's super tanky that it's actually worth noting that Lugia is pretty tanky, that I would personally at least maybe use one. If you have the resources, I say go for it. Otherwise, if you're looking for a Psychic type that you want to max out, and if you're looking at Lugia, this one's not really worth maxing out, really. But me personally, I already have Lugia decently leveled. But I think Lugia is awesome. I mean, and Lugia is going to be a fun challenge, like I said. So it's going to be fun to battle against Lugia. So I honestly can't wait for Lugia's return. It's been such a long time, so I honestly cannot wait for Lugia. And now let's go ahead and talk about Ho-Oh, which maxes out at 3,863. Ho-Oh is a dual type Fire and Flying type with an attack of 239, defense of 244, stamina of 214. So, scrolling into the weaknesses here, Ho-Oh only has 3 weaknesses. Is being weak to electric, water, and has a double weakness to rock, being with that fire and flying type. While heavily resisting the bug and grass, being fire, flying, being able to resist both of those types. Also resisting fairy, flying, fire, ground, and steel. So there you go. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ho-Oh's moves here. So Ho-Oh, quick moves, it has extra sensory, the newly added hidden power, and steel wing. And then for charge moves, it has Brave Bird, Solar Beam, and Fire Blast. So Ho-Oh, not as tanky as Lugia, but I think if you're looking for a fire type to really invest in, this is definitely not the one that you definitely want to invest in if you're looking for a fire type for sure. Because as you well know, Fire Blast is extremely terrible. But what Ho-Oh does do pretty decently that it actually has some pretty interesting move sets here. So as you guys see right here, like they go in about Steel Wing, Solar Beam actually being super effective on those ground type, rather rock types, being because rock is weak to steel, and so is grass and rock is weak to steel, and rock is weak to grass. So Steel Wing, Solar Beam, which is interestingly enough is Ho-Oh's best moveset here, has a DPS of 14.05 and is actually going to be super effective on rock types. If you're actually lucky enough to actually get a Ho-Oh with Hidden Power Grass, you can also use Ho-Oh to actually take on water types. Or if you have Hidden Power Electric, you can still use it to take on those water types, which is still, I think, pretty cool. And then it also has access to a Psychic move, which is extrasensory, and Brave Bird, which is a flying type move, which it gives Ho-Oh something to hit fighting types with, which is still pretty cool if you ask me. I think Ho is pretty cool as a unique attacker, not as a fire attacker, but I think Ho is fun to use as a utility because as you guys see by the moves here, Ho has moves that basically make it a fun choice in some situations. And it's not the best Pokemon by all means. Obviously, there's Pokemon that's going to far surpass it on those certain type matches. Like for example, like if you're looking to use this thing against Machamp, it still does well, but there's going to be Pokemon that's going to do a lot better against Machamp, like Mewtwo with Side Strike, Espeon, Alakazam, stuff like that. Or if we're talking about Pokemon to use against rock types, like for example, let's say for example like Golem or Rhydon. Let's go with Golem for example here. Golem, like I said, is going to be really weak. It's going to be weak to Steel Wing and to that Solar Beam. However, like the only reason why I'm saying Golem, well, I wouldn't really say Golem. Let's go with Rhydon because let's say Rhydon has the moveset of Rock Smash and Earthquake. I'm just using this as an example. Ho-Oh would actually be fun to use because Steel Wing is super effective on Rhydon being weak to it with the rock typing, and of course Rhydon does have the double weakness to grass, so Solar Beam will hit it pretty hard in that regards for sure. So. But of course, against Rhydon, there's going to be better counters against it. Like, for example, Kyogre with Waterfall Hydro Pump. You have, Swampert with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon, which is, of course, it's going to be double weak to water. And then for grass, you have Roserade, Venusaur with Frenzy Plant, Sceptile with Frenzy Plant. Just throwing in some examples there. But as unique as Ho-Oh is a pretty fun, unique attacker because it has movesets that can actually hit super effectively on rock types and super effectively on fighting types. Well, and it does still have that Fire Blast, which is still going to be able to give it that fire stab. It's not really Fire Blast, as you guys know, is actually the worst fire type move in the game, and yeah, it's just unfortunate that it has that. But I suppose if you're lucky enough to actually get yourself a Ho-Oh with Hidden Power Fire, then you can always use that. You can always have fun with that and run Hidden Power Fire and Fire Blast just to have fun with it. Double Stab is always pretty fun. Or if you get a Ho-Oh with Hidden Power Grass, like I mentioned before earlier, that's also going to be pretty fun. It's not going to be the best counter, but it's still going to be a fun option. So yeah, I think personally Ho-Oh is just great. It's just going to be fun to use as a unique attacker, just for that set combinations for the most part. But other than that, it's pretty awesome. Its shiny variant is amazing. This Pokemon is beautiful. And this is, I think, the one I probably will be pursuing more other than aside from Lugia. So yeah. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and go into raid, guys, and let's go ahead and discuss these two Pokemon. So I will see you guys there. Alright guys, so here we are. We're going to on GoHub once more for the raid, guys. We're going to start with Lugia, because Lugia is going to be some that I'm pretty sure people are going to be pursuing this one for sure. Ho-Oh is of course going to be the other Pokemon, which we're going to go into that for sure in just a few moments. So, Lugia is going to have a raid ball CP of 45,925. This Pokemon is going to be pretty tanky, so keep that in mind. So, and obviously a shiny Lugia is available as well, so you're going to have a chance to get yourself a shiny Lugia from December 20th to the 23rd. And then the 100% IV for Lugia is going to be 2115. So, if you happen to have a 2115, that's going to be the 100% for Lugia. And if you happen to have windy weather, you're going to be looking for 2645. So that's going to be the 100% IV for your weather boosted Lugia. Otherwise, in no weather boost, you're going to be looking for 2115. So there you go. And now let's go ahead and go into some counters to take on Lugia. So first off, we got Darkrai coming in the number one spot with that Snarl and Shadow Ball. It's going to actually be performing really well. It's going to have to it's going to actually be resisting Future Sight and being able to dish out some really impressive damage. So if you guys were able to get your Darkrai's from the Halloween event, Darkrai is going to be fantastic here against Lugia. So definitely keep that in mind. Then we got Magnezone with Spark and Wild Charge. Actually, is going to be able to quad resist the Sky Attack. Oh, they actually also showcased the time to win with all these Pokemon, so that's pretty convenient. So, Magnezone with Spark Wild Charge is going to actually be able to quad resist the Sky Attack, and it's going to be doing pretty darn impressively right there in that regards too. So keep that in mind, and when you use that for sure. Next up, we got Tyranitar with Bite and Stone Edge. You can also go Smackdown Stone Edge, which both of those will be super effective. However, if you have partly cloudy weather, you're going to probably want that Smackdown over the Bite. But Bite is going to be super effective on Lugia as well. And it's actually going to be pretty tanky from the other ones, like the other Pokemon. Tyranitar is going to be able to heavily resist that that Future Slate, and also be able to resist the Sky Attack, but it's going to have to watch out for the Hydro Pump that Lugia is going to have access to. So just be on the lookout for the Hydro Pump. So Tyranitar is going to have to watch out for that Hydro Pump. Other than that, Tyranitar will be fantastic for sure. Then we got Raikou with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge. Raikou is going to be a good check, another comfortable check to Lugia, being able to resist Sky Attack and being neutral to its other attacks. So keep that in mind when it comes to Raikou. Then we got Origin Form Giratina with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. Also a fantastic choice. So it's actually going to be one of those Pokemon that's going to be resisting the Hydro Pump. So Giratina is a good choice because of that. Then we got Weavile with Snarl and Avalanche. It's going to be a fantastic option for sure. Next up, and then after that, next we got Zapdos here with Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt. I personally have one of those maxed out, so that's going to be fun to use. Then we got Hydreigon with Bite and Dark Pulse, another solid Pokemon here. Going to be actually Hydreigon is going to, well to note that Hydreigon is actually not going to be resisting Sky Attack, but while it does lose that resistance to Sky Attack, like comparing this to Tyranitar, Hydreigon actually is going to be resisting the Hydro Pump that Lugia has, so Hydreigon will be able to surpass Tyranitar in that regards. Just a minor thought of it losing the weakness to resistance to Sky Attack. It's not really the worst loss, but Hydreigon is still fantastic either way for sure. Then we have Electivire with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge. Actually, one of the more consistent and more DPS oriented counters to Lugia, only just surpassed by Darkrai actually being at the top with the time to win there. Electivire actually surpasses Raikou actually a little bit, but it has more feints than Raikou does actually, so definitely keep that in mind. Then we got Mewtwo with Cycle Cut Shadow Ball as well, another solid choice. Luxray with Spark Wild Charge. Then we have Mamoswine, which is also not a bad option either, with Powder Snow and Avalanche. It's going to have to, however, watch out for that Hydro Pump because Mamoswine is part ground, and Hydro Pump is going to be super effective on the ground typing, so keep that in mind. Same goes for Rampardos with Smackdown and Rock Slide. Rampardos is actually going to be a very good counter, so huge shout out to Kel because I know he loves his Rampardos. it's going to have to watch out for the Hydro Pump, and keep in mind, Rampardos is going to be a bit of a class cannon, but other than that, it's still not a bad choice. And then going out to some other counters, you can also go with Golem, Alolan Golem with Rock Throw and Wild Charge. And this is also what to keep in mind. Alolan Golem is actually going to be able to quad resist Sky Attack because it is Rock and Electric. So keep that in mind. If you guys use Golem, you may want to consider using the Alolan Golem because you'll be able to quad resist the Sky Attack, and you'll also lose the double weakness to Hydro Pump because regular Golem is going to be double weak to water, to the Hydro Pump being Rock and Ground, while Alolan Golem is only going to be 2 times weak to it. So it's, instead of taking 4 times the damage, it's only going to be taking 2 times the damage because it's Rock and Electric. So keep that in mind in regards to that. Then we got Rhyperior with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Like before, it has Rock and Ground, so he's going to have to watch out for that Hydro Pump. Chandelure is also a fantastic choice with Hex Shadow Ball. He's going to have to watch out for that Hydro Pump from Lugia. Then we got Glaceon with Ice Shard, Avalanche. Terrakion, which is currently in the raids right now, also a fantastic choice with Smackdown Rock Slide. It's going to have to watch out for that Future Sight being part fighting, but still a fantastic choice nonetheless. Then we got Gengar with Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball. Jolteon with Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt. Honchkrow with Snarl, Dark Pulse. Aggron with Smackdown Stone Edge. Omastar with the double Legacy moveset there. Absol with Snarl, Dark Pulse. Deoxys, Metagross with Meteor Mash. These are just some counters for sure. You got Jinx there, Gardevoir with Shadow Ball, Jinx, Nicki Minaj, Alolan Raichu, and of course, we're wrapping up the list with Houndoom with Snarl Foul Play. So these are some of the counters that are going to be pretty effective against Lugia. The top ones, of course, being Darkrai, Raikou, Magnezone, Electivire, just to name a couple for sure. So these are going to be your top counters to take on Lugia. So let's go ahead and hop onto the Ho-Oh raid guide now, and let's go ahead and let's discuss Ho-Oh. Okay, so here we are with the Ho-Oh raid guide. Once again, shout out to GoHub for the amazing work as always for sure. Ho-Oh is going to be having a raid ball CP of 50,000 to 64, so that's pretty cool. And like Lugia, Ho-Oh is going to also have a shiny variant, so if you guys get yourself a shiny Ho-Oh, congratulations. Definitely pineapple because it's going to be guaranteed candy. So the 100% IV for Ho-Oh is going to be 2207, and then for if it happens to be sunny or windy at the time you do Ho-Oh raids, you're going to be looking for 2759 for the 100% IV in sunny or windy weather for Ho-Oh. Otherwise, keep on the lookout for 2207. So let's go ahead and go into some counters here. So coming in at number 1, we're going to have Rampardos with that Smackdown and Rock Slide, with which is going to be your number 1 counter against the Ho-Oh. However, all the rock types that are going to be mentioned here. Now, here's the thing. Ho-Oh is going to be double weak to rock, like I mentioned before. So you definitely, against Ho-Oh, you're definitely going to want to bring those rock types. However, you're going to have to 100% watch out for that Solar Beam, because Ho-Oh does have access to Solar Beam. And if it happens to be the Steel Wing Solar Beam moveset, like I mentioned before, it's going to be really devastating to the rock types. So you definitely want to stay away from the rock types if Ho-Oh has that moveset. But if it has Fire Blast or Brave Bird, then you're good to go in regards to using your rock types. So keep that in mind when you guys are using your rock types. So anyway, let's continue. Rampardos here with Smackdown Rock Slide. It's going to be your best counter for sure. Keep in mind, Rampardos is going to be a bit of a glass cannon, but still, it'll definitely get the job done for sure. Kev, if you're watching, let's do that Ho-Oh duo with Rampardos. Anyways, going into the next Pokemon, we got Tyranitar here with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Another fantastic choice. And Tyranitar, guys, is going to be resisting the Fire Blast and heavily resisting the Extra Sensory Quick Move, while also resisting the Brave Bird. So that's going to be fantastic there for sure. Then we got Terrakion here, coming in at that number 3 spot with Smackdown and Rock Slide. Another fantastic choice here. However, Terrakion is going to be neutral to Sky Attack. To Brave Bird. And is actually going to be weak to that Extra Sensory being part fighting. So keep that in mind when you're using Terrakion. But other than that, Terrakion is a fantastic choice for sure. Definitely want to consider that, and it just has to watch out for that solar beam as well from Ho-Oh. Same with Rhyperior, which we're going to go into Rhyperior here with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Has to watch out for solar beam, like I mentioned before. I cannot stress that enough because all of these rock types are going to have to be wary of that solar beam. So there you go. Next up, we got Aggron with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Actually, Aggron is going to be quite fun to use. You're just going to have to watch out for... Well, actually, Aggron, unlike the other rock types, is going to be neutral to Solar Beam because it actually has that Steel typing that helps it in that regard. So Aggron will be able to do decently well against Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh with Solar Beam for sure. So that's going to be pretty cool. Then we got Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, which, unlike the other rock types, it's actually going to be neutral to the Solar Beam because it does have that flying typing on it. So that's gonna really help it to do well in that regards. Then we got Omastar with that Rock Throw and Rock Slide, which, guys, it is Legacy, so you're unable to currently obtain that moveset. So yeah, and it's gonna have to really watch out for that Solar Beam because it's going to be double weak to that Solar Beam there. Then we have Alolan Golem and the Kanto Golem, both Rock Throw and Stone Edge. Now, like I mentioned before, the Kanto Golem is going to be double weak to that Solar Beam being Rock and Ground, while the Alolan Golem is only going to be 2 times weak to that Solar Beam because it is Rock and Electric. So keep that in mind. If you guys are wondering which Golem to use, I urge you guys to use the Alolan Golem. It's going to be able to survive a bit longer than the Kanto Golem because it has that electric typing, so it's not going to be double weak to that Hydro Pump from Lugia, and it's not going to be double weak to that Solar Beam from Lugia. It's still going to be taking a lot of damage, but at least it'll survive a bit longer than the Kanto Golem. So keep that in mind. Not talking down about it, it's still a fantastic choice, but you just have to watch out for that Solar Beam. That's pretty much all there is to it. So there you go. Then we got Regirock with Rock Throw and Stone Edge. Also not a bad choice. Actually, a bit more on the tanky side on the rock types for sure. So again, just has to watch out for that Solar Beam. And now going into some other counters here, we have Rayquaza with Dragon Tail and Ancient Power, which Rayquaza is going to be one of those Pokemon that's going to be heavily resisting the Solar Beam, resisting Fire Blast, and neutral to Brave Bird. So Rayquaza is not a bad choice with that Ancient Power. Then we got Zapdos with Thundershock and Ancient Power, also not a bad choice. It'll be resisting Brave Bird and resisting the Solar Beam for sure. Then we got Raikou with Thundershock Wild Charge, also a solid choice as well. Then we got Lunatone and Solrock with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. Both of these two are going to have to watch out for Solar Beam, but these two will still be able to do work as well. Then we have Moltres with Wing Attack and Ancient Power, another decent option for sure. Moltres will actually be able to heavily resist that Solar Beam as well, so keep that in mind. Then we have Magnezone with Spark and Wild Charge. Now, Magnezone is interesting because Magnezone here will be able to resist the Solar Beam and heavily resist that Brave Bird. However, Magnezone here is going to have to watch out for Fire Blast because it is part Steel and it's going to be taking a lot of damage from that. But if the Ho-Oh happens to have the Steel Wing and Brave Bird combination, that your Magnezones are going to be lasting quite a while because you'll be able to quad resist both Steel and Flying, being Steel and Electric. So Magnezone will be great for sure. May want to have to try that challenge out. We could trio Ho-Oh with Magnezone, but we have to find that particular moveset. That'll be kind of fun to try. Then we got Sudowoodo with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, not bad. I have to watch out for Solar Beam, of course. Then we got Kyogre with Waterfall and Hydro Pump. A pretty consistent option for sure. Has to watch out for Solar Beam in that regards too. Probopass is also not bad with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. Kabutops with Waterfall and Ancient Power. Has to watch out for that Solar Beam 100%. Then we got Mewtwo with Cycle Cut and Thunderbolt. That's actually going to be the most consistent counter against Ho-Oh. Well, I say consistent because, it's not going to be weak to any of Ho-Oh's charge moves. But it'll resist Extra Sensory because Extra Sensory is a Psychic type move. But other than that, that's pretty much it on that. Then we got Kingler with Bubble and Crabhammer, which is another newcomer that's going to do well against Ho-Oh. Has to watch out for Solar Beam, of course. Then we got Palkia with Dragon Tail and Hydro Pump. Not a bad choice for sure. It'll actually be able to be neutral to Solar Beam and quad resist Fire Blast. So that's also a solid choice there. Gyarados with Waterfall Hydro Pump. Ampharos with Charge Beam and Power Gem. Power Gem actually is a rock type move, but it's going to be 4 times effective on Ho-Oh. So there you go. We got Swampert with Wardigan Hydro Cannon. Electivire with Thundershock Wall Charge. Emboar with Low Kick Rock Slide. I would not recommend this Pokemon whatsoever against Ho-Oh. And Armaldo with Fury Cutter and Rock Blast. So those two on the bottom, I highly would not recommend to you guys to use because I don't think they're really worth using for sure. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the counters. Ho-Oh is coming pretty strong. I think Lugia is gonna be a bit more of a challenge because it's gonna take a lot more people to take down Lugia. But if you guys have some solid rock types, I think Ho-Oh is going to be a bit more easier to take down than Lugia for sure. So with that being said, this is going to be pretty fun to battle these two. It's been a long time since we battled Lugia and Ho-Oh. Hopefully they do come with their signature moves this time. That would be pretty sweet. But only time will tell. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. You guys are excited for Shiny Lugia and the Shiny Ho-Oh is coming for that special raid weekend. So stay tuned for those coming pretty soon. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I made these videos super long. I do apologize. But I wanted to make sure that you guys know what to use when taking on these legendary Pokemon. So, with that, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.